Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs, education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.
Hey, true believers, welcome to Tuesday Tech Talks. True Believers Tuesday Tech Talks. Tech Talk True Believers? True Believers Tech Talks. True Believers Tech Talks Tuesday. Okay, so welcome to the latest, our 48th episode. We're right on the cusp of 50, which is awesome. And the 50th happens right on producer Will's birthday, so shout out to Rooney. It'll be a special celebration for that. Shout out to Rooney for setting up the studio today. Took care of it, got everything set up, and then producer Will jumped in and just finished it up. It was pretty cool that Rooney did that for us. So, it's our of the month this month. We have Destiny from Sweetheartpinup Studio coming in to tell us about her business and stuff, and we'll give her all we'll grill her with all sorts of good questions. So it's gonna be a fun time. So housekeeping. Let's get housekeeping out of the way. Class tomorrow, online class, photography. Am I here, Will? Photography 101. Our online class is tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday at 6:30 online. Sign up right on our website. There's a button there to sign up for classes. You click there. Shows you all the list of classes that we have, and you can sign up for Photography 101, which is tomorrow. And actually, a week from tomorrow is product photography. So if you want to take that class, you can sign up for that there as well. We have a couple of in-person classes coming up. We have beginners 35mm photography with Debbie Orange, who is our colleague, who's going to teach people about 35mm film photography. It should be fun. We're going to have a little discussion about it. She's going to tell you the finer points of it. It's going to be a good time. That is on February 23rd. I think it's a Thursday. It's a Thursday, I think, yeah. We have a class called Posing Partners coming up as well, which is on Sunday, 2/19. It's basically a class, in-person class, for individuals and couples to kind of teach people the finer points of getting good pictures of those people closest to you. So, you know, when your significant other asks you to take a picture of them somewhere, this class will teach you how to take a good picture of them and not a crappy picture. And it's going to be fun. Catherine's always cool. She's going to be on next week, in fact, to talk about the class. She's going to be the What's in Your Bag for February. She's going to talk about that class as well. So that should be a good time as well. So Posing Partners 2/19, Beginners 35mm photography 2/23. As far as other housekeeping, the NFRCC event, what's up, Will? Is on. It's coming up. I've told you about it before. It's 3 days of photography education. There's a trade show. It's gonna be a good time. It's March 10th to 12th. It's the Sheraton Falls View. What's up? I said November? March, not November, March, like a month from now. March 10th to 11th at the Sheraton Falls View in Canada. If you want to sign up for that, go to nfrccevents.org. It'll be a great time. Sharon from NFRCC is going to be on here in a couple weeks. On our 50th episode, talk about the event, because they have these events all the time at NFRCC, and they are always a good time. So she's going to come on and talk about that and tell you guys all about it. So if you want to know more about that, check us out on the 14th, Valentine's Day, at noon, every Tuesday. So anyway, one more piece of housekeeping I've got. So we want to have like a community board in our store, and we went out and bought a cork board, which we have by our door. So if people have like stuff they want to advertise, like shows, openings, their own businesses, come into the store right by the door. You can put up your business card, your flyer, whatever you got, and hopefully people will see it. I recommend that people use QR codes on their information, because that's the best way to share information in 2023. We used to go into a place, take like a little tag or something. We don't do that anymore. Come in with your phone, shoot a QR code, and you see the information for the event that you're doing. So I think that's all of our housekeeping, unless there's something else, Will? Anything else? Oh yeah, we did that. The photography 101.
Oh.
So
Underwater, you can say it over underwater.
what are you talking about? So anyway, tomorrow we have photography 101 with Joe Klosek. He's gonna be teaching that class tomorrow. So sign up right on the website, and we'll be right back with Destiny from Sweetheart Pinup Studio. Welcome back from our brief break. I'm here with Destiny from Sweetheart Pinup Studio. Hey Destiny, how's it going today?
Good. I'm happy to be here. This is
Awesome.
exciting.
I'm glad you could come on and be our Artist of the Month for January. So
I'm flattered.
let's start with how long have you been shooting photos? Like, when did you get the itch to like take up photography?
Honestly, when I was a little kid, and my parents had a film camera, and I think when I first started getting the itch, I remembered taking my cat Gizmo and putting like clothes on her and jewelry, and like putting her outside on our swing set and taking pictures, and then my brother, I would dress him up and put makeup on him and everything, and so later on, when he was a musician and was wearing makeup, my parents kind of blamed me for that because I was like started that super young. But that's when I got the itch. My parents didn't really get it because I was always taking pictures of food before we ate, and they were just like, "What is so interesting about Brussels sprouts?" I was just like, "But look at them."
It's like pre-Instagram. That's cool.
Yeah, so it was so pre-Instagram. Yeah.
I think maybe you created that trend then.
The food trend, yeah. Where people are like, "Oh my God, really another food pic?" But yeah, I have all these film photos of food from childhood. It's really
Awesome.
Crazy.
That's a show right there. Pre-Instagram food photos from my childhood. There you go.
And they don't look as good as I thought,
Yeah.
looking back on them, it's, they're not as cute as I thought.
Yeah. So, did you grow up in Buffalo?
I did. I grew up on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And right before third grade, we moved to Cheektowaga. So then I went to like Cheektowaga school systems.
Very cool. Didn't you live out in California for a while?
Yeah, I went to Cali right after I turned 18, and I was out there for about 13 years. And then I moved back here, and everything I kind of learned on the West Coast I brought to the business I have today.
So I always ask people when they move back from, because I have a friend who moved from LA back to Buffalo, why move from California to Buffalo?
Well, what's kind of funny about that is I definitely didn't see that happening. It wasn't in my plan. And my brother and I were living in LA together. He and I both decided to come back for Christmas, and we had the best time.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like the holidays,
Buffalo.
like the bars are open until like all night long, like,
Yeah.
My brother ended up meeting a girl, and they really hit it off, and now it's his wife.
Awesome.
And he decided to move back first, and then the seed kind of got planted, and my dad was just kind of like, why don't you come back here too and like figure yourself out, because I was working for a lot of cool people, but I kind of got that itch that was like I need to do something for myself, and so that and then I got a really horrible DUI, so I came back here to kind of like recuperate from that.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
I'm just
cool.
being honest. Like, I don't talk about it a lot, and it was awful. But, I just, it was a good time to start over.
Yeah, you've come back from it, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, so
what types of photography do you do in general before we get to Sweetheart Pinup Studio? Like we did a wedding together many years ago.
Katie May, woohoo! I miss her.
So you do weddings. What other kind of photography do you do? Or have you done in the past? Like what kind of stuff were you doing out in California when you were working out there?
Well, when I was out there, what was funny is I was more behind the scenes, so I did makeup and wardrobe styling. But because my brother was in a band, I used to follow them around and I would shoot band photos. So I would say when I was in Los Angeles, what I was doing the most was band photography and concert photography and things like that.
Very cool.
And then, but then, you know, people realized that I could do that kind of thing. So girls were hitting me up once in a while to do like boudoir pictures for them and whatnot. I never really took it too seriously. I was on the artist track at that point, and I was doing a lot of paintings and selling them and doing the gallery show thing. So
you were multi-talented then.
I guess.
So anyway, let's get to why you started Sweetheart Pinup Studio.
Well, when I moved back to Buffalo, it was really, you know, humbling because nobody would hire me, and I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't get a job, like any kind of job, and because I had some time to really think about it, I was like, well, what am I good at, you know? And it was like, well, photography, makeup, hair, wardrobe, and I was always kind of interested in like sets and things like that. So it was almost like kind of like a test. I was just like, well, I'm gonna do these Valentine's pinup pictures because I didn't see pinup happening a lot around here, and on the West Coast it was huge, and all of my friends like looked like that every day, and so I came back here with a treasure trove of wardrobe already. And I took these pictures of this friend of mine. I did her hair and makeup, and she had put like a Facebook album, you know, on her Facebook, and she titled it Sweetheart Pinup because she was holding a sweetheart candy. And I was like, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm going to call it. I think it's simple, and I'm not overthinking it, and I love it because sweetheart could mean a lot of things, couples, babies, you know.
Definitely.
So I started a Facebook business page, and I literally started just out of one room in my apartment, and that's how it began. And it was crazy because when I look back on those like really humble beginnings, I can't believe people actually paid me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you know, they would walk up this creepy stairwell and come into my kitchen, you know, and I'm going to do your makeup in my bedroom, don't mind that. And then my living room, like, you know, I had to move stuff around and make a whatever set, you know, that they were interested in doing. So it was very like makeshift kind of. It's pretty cool looking back on it though.
Yeah. So why did you decide to get a space, like an actual like?
Privacy was a huge thing, and space. A lot of people don't know this unless they've dated me, but in that time period when I had the studio out of my house, I didn't have a bedroom. My bedroom was like storage for all the furniture and sets and backdrops. My living room was the studio, and I had a teeny tiny office, and that was all hair and makeup. So I basically had a mattress that I just kind of dragged around and would throw on the floor. And, you know, and when people did date me, they'd be like, are you serious? Is this where you sleep? And I was like, well, yeah, this is fine. You know, I just kept thinking if you really sacrifice everything, you'll get what you want. I mean, I was in that mindset, and now I realize that's not necessarily true. Make sure you have a comfortable bed. You're going to need it. And yeah, so I really needed to have an apartment. I couldn't work like that anymore. Yeah.
So, let's see. So I've seen tons of your stuff on Instagram. Like, so with the reels and stuff, does that get you a ton of engagement? Because you post a lot of reels and the before and after, which I think are really awesome. And that's why it like immediately gets your attention that people see that the reels and all that stuff. And so tell me about that. Like why'd you decide to like do all these like before and afters and stuff?
I'm not even sure how that started. I think it was something as really simple as I finally had gotten a real salon chair, and I was thinking, oh, how cool would it be to spin it, and like the person is, you know, first coming in, and then you spin it around, and then they're finished, you know, all done up. And I think that was my thought process. And then I realized that a lot of people didn't know that I did the hair and makeup also. So I thought that would be a good way to showcase that I do all of that. And it's been really fun. And I mean, I sometimes I forget to do them. I'm really bad at that. So, but when I do, I really like it because you can see. And also I think my thought process was because, especially with the pinup hairstyles, in photos, we're getting the girl's front on. You're not always seeing how cool the back of the hair looks. And I really wanted to showcase these, you know, cool tiered waves, or this like the height that you get and the shapes. It's like sculpture. So I was really excited about that.
Yeah. So I noticed too in your on your online presence, you do a lot of different kinds of people, which I think is awesome. Like, there's a lot of like every different kind. People usually show like one kind of person when they do these types of things, but you shoot everybody. And I think it's really awesome. Um, is that kind of how you wanted your business to be? Like catering to like everyone?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first moved back to Buffalo, what's so funny is when I first was like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for a living. My very first people that hired me was misunderstood at Club Marcella, Neil. So my very first clients were in, the LGBTQ trans community, and those are my people. I did stuff for the Mocha Center too, for World AIDS Day. So I just think that's important. Like, I couldn't even imagine if I just catered to one type of human. Like, that's insane to me. So I've always had my arms wide open and just want to bring everybody in.
Very cool. So do you shoot men? I just noticed that you had a picture of a guy with a chainsaw and lots of blood and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I do. It's becoming a newer thing, Dudoir, and I have this one customer. He goes by Pickles, and he's like the king of Dudoir in my eyes, because he just really brings it. Oh yeah, no, he's a good time. Like, during COVID, I actually was hired by his wife and him to do a calendar, but it had to be shot in their backyard. And I really had to keep my distance in every way, and I had to bring all these setups to their backyard. But what they wanted to achieve was because Pickles is so funny and they have a great sense of humor, they wanted to make a calendar for Christmas for all of their relatives. Yeah. So that was their goal by that. And then after that, it became like a thing. I think they've put out several calendars now with a lot of my photos, and so it's a good time. So I think Pickles has inspired other men to come in, and I do a lot of trans men too. Everybody, I just come on down.
Is there an age range? Is there like a minimum age?
If I do get somebody under 18, which is rare, they usually come in with a parent. I think that's best. So, and then I do get a lot of younger kids too when they come in for like mommy and me's. I do a lot of mommy and me's. So the ages are kind of all over, and they go all the way up until late 70s. I've had ladies come in, and yeah.
Very cool.
So no age. Come on down.
So, and another reason why I wanted to do this month is I feel like this is like a perfect Valentine's Day thing, like getting a photo shoot and stuff like that. So do you have any specials going on as far as Valentine's Day and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm doing, I'm calling it the Nude Year special, but it's really just a play on New Year. And that's a boudoir special, and I have 5 different sets for people to choose from. And then I'm also doing a really classic pinup one with just a plain white backdrop and the cutout of the heart. I mean, we've seen it for years. It's classic, Gil Evgren artwork kind of example. So I'm doing those 2, and then I'm doing a Bills special too, and I have some Bills jerseys if people want to come in and support their home team.
New Bills jerseys or old Bills jerseys?
New ones. If you want to do the old ones, you got to bring them.
Fair enough. So, I think this was cool. I appreciate you coming on and telling us about your business and stuff. And I don't know if you have anything you want to add to finish this up or anything like that. I'm
not really sure. I would just say, if anyone's out there who wants to start their own business or their own photography thing, the best advice that I can give is don't give up on it, because I think people want everything to be instant. I've been doing this here for 13 years, and I was working in the photo shoot industry in LA for another maybe 7. So it's 20 years. It's a long time, and I'll be honest, I never think that I'm successful, and I always think there's more that I can learn, and I always think that I can grow in some way, and I don't know if we're always where we think we need to be. So I would just say don't give up.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. And
thanks for having me.
True Believers, next week is Catherine Whitefield. She's going to be talking about the class that she has coming up, Posing Partners. So appreciate you watching. If you like this, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend or 2 or 3, and we will see you next week.
Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs: education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.